Okay, we're trying this again. I don't know what's been going on with the connection lately, on Instagram specifically. I have no clue. But anyway, so we're going to talk today about the autoimmune stuff, the holistic recovery side of Amare. So, I get this all the time. I never do a video on it because I'm talking about all the plastic surgery stuff. But basically, I'll have a client that comes in and they have, you guys are, female or male. Most of the times, 90% of the times it's female. And this video is directed towards females. Again, I am not a doctor. I am a professional. I help heal people, blah, 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 blah. Licensed specialist, blah, blah, blah. But it's either hormonal related or like some long stream of like health issues that you've had going on. And there's the bloat, there's the fatigue, there's the endometriosis, fibromyalgia, MS, all those kinds of symptoms, or doctors call them unclassified autoimmunes, or they say that you could possibly have this if you have the markers, and then they say you don't have the markers. So they're kind of just like, all right, bye, you have your problems, the end. Fibroids, swelling, things like that, maybe like around your cycle, you get really bad sharp pains in your legs, your back is always swollen, there's a lot of pressure on your nerves, and somehow, some way, you find out about lymphatic drainage. You're either on the forums for this kind of stuff, you're on the Facebook messages things for this kind of stuff, you Google it, you figure it out, right? So we've gone down this long list of like health issues, and we've come to the result that you have swelling in everywhere, either like your whole body or just like around your abdomen or something like that. So I have a client, she comes in, they say she might have endometriosis. She's been having issues for about 5 to 6 years now. TMJ, neck problems, sinus problems, bloating around the abdomen, extreme. They say it's weight gain. She did gain an actual lot of weight, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's actual weight. And lots of different complicated things. So when I do my holistic health consults with you guys, or when you come in for an MLD consult, manual lymphatic drainage consult with me, basically that means we've got a lot of unresolved health issues, and the end result is my lymphatic system is bogged down, somebody told me so, or somebody said I should get this done, help me. So we go back to your health history and we kind of dig through it and we figure out, okay, what are your signs and symptoms? Let's talk about this one specific case. Bloating around the abdomen, lots of pelvic pain, definitely around her cycle, she gets, lots of nerve pain in her back, lots of nerve pain all around her stomach. They say she may have endometriosis. She's been on birth control for 16 years. Now this is where the interesting part in the video starts. This is why I wanted to do this video. Yaz is one of the #1 birth controls on the market that has been known to cause massive problems. Ladies, if you are taking oral or hormonal birth control, please check the side effects. We all know that on birth control, we bloat. On birth control, we have all kinds of crazy things, right? But these things are linked to autoimmune. There are studies that they are linked to autoimmune. Now, there's a bunch of different things that cause an autoimmune, right? But let's talk about the basis of it. So what is an autoimmune, right? It's your body attacking itself. Well, what in your body is attacking itself? Well, the things that fight the bad guys. What is the things that fight the bad guys? White blood cells. Where are those white blood cells produced? Your thyroid, your liver, and where do they get transported and live in? Your lymph fluid. So those little fuckers, excuse my French, control your swelling. Now, they're good because if you have an infection, they go in there, they fight the bad stuff, they get it out, and that's the end of it. And then your lymph system processes and cleans it, right? So when you have a fever, you swell, we know that. But what happens when your body is so bogged down and there's so many of those dead little white blood cells on the battlefield and your body's already in like a lowered state of function, your lymph system, that it can't clean up all the dead bodies? Well, then it just starts building. And then your body starts attacking itself. Now, this happens in conjunction with the nervous system, obviously, which causes, the nerve pain, the swelling, blah, 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 blah. But in this particular case, she had massive amount of swelling sitting on her back, causing the back pain, causing the neck pain, the TMJ. It literally radiated up her spine. And you could see the swelling in her back. You can also see it all the way around her abdomen. Now, I have a before and after. You got to scroll way down of a girl who did 5 days of MLD. She had endometriosis and Epstein-Barr due to birth control, messing with her body for too long, and she never detoxed or cleaned it out. And the common body shape that we see with this is like the giant round, like, it's not fat, guys, it's swelling. It's legit, you're just swollen. It's just water weight. And it comes off in 5 days with us, if that is what it's from. But the massive roundness, super, super swollen in her hips, and then skinny legs, skinny arms, skinny face. That's what she had. But, you know, they say with hormones, you carry all of your fat here. Well, guess what, guys? It's not always fat, and that's the thing. And we're not taught to look at anything any other way. So with this case, like I said, she was on Yaz for 2 years. Then they switched her to low estrogen, minestrone, that FE generic 24, that birth control. Now, personal experience, I was on that for 2 years. After 2 years of taking it, it stopped working. Like, I stopped, that's supposed to be, you're supposed to have the sugar pills, you're supposed to get your cycle. I stopped getting my cycle after 2 years. Now, 6 months in, I started having joint ligament issues. I started, obviously, with the bloat, which is so uncomfortable and so gross. It started with acne, it caused acne, all kinds of stuff, right? So birth control is meant to help these things. A lot of reason that doctors put women on birth control is to control the acne, excuse me, from the hormones, to help bring regular periods, to help ease the cramps, to help your flow and all this stuff, right? But how many doctors actually check and do a full hormone panel before throwing you on pills? How many doctors do a full hormone panel before deciding what birth control is right for you? How many of you guys do that? Nobody. I'll tell you, when I went and got mine when I was 17, nobody checked my shit beforehand. Nobody said, okay, well, you have high testosterone and that's why you're not getting your cycles regularly, so maybe we should fix that. Like, no one does that, right? So they put you on these pills. Now, again, Yaz has been known to cause massive problems in the body. There are so many ridiculous studies done on it. Yaz is not great. That's number one. Number two, low estrogen, minestrone, FE24, that whole birth control, the generic and the regular, that also has been known to cause a lot of issues. Guys, check the label. Look at the side effects. Endometriosis is one of them. Fibroids are another one of them. PCOS is another one of them. Now, on the contrary, doctors will prescribe you these things to control these, things you got going on. And you may have had these things because you had a hormonal imbalance way back when to begin with. And instead of fixing the hormonal imbalance, they put you on birth control. Or they, just decided that's what it was, and they're putting you on the birth control to control it. Now, if you have PCOS or something like that, where your hormones are completely out of whack, causing all these issues in your body, being on a hormonal birth control is something that is necessary for you. If you and your doctor have spoken about it and they prescribe this for you for a reason, then it is necessary. Now, again, autoimmunes are your body attacking itself. It's too much of a toxin that kept spiraling, and now it's stuck in a feedback loop, continuing to trigger. So stress will trigger you, sugar will trigger you, gluten will trigger you, literally any stimulant, food stimulant, coffee, sugar, cigarettes, stress, not sleeping enough, any kind of stimulant will trigger you. Why? Because your body is on high alert trying to get all this stuff out of it. So why does lymphatic drainage work? Because we're cleaning up the battlefield. We're getting you down to baseline so your lymph system can function normally again. Now again, autoimmunes are a buildup over time, 90% of the time. I know some children who have autoimmunes because their lymph system is not strong enough, because their lymph system is missing pieces, because whatever it is. Now, every autoimmune case is different, which is why you schedule an MLD consult with me so we can figure out why. But in this specific video, I wanted to talk about this because she was on all this birth control just because she was sexually active and had heavy periods. Now, they weren't like unbearably heavy, but she had bad cramps and heavy periods. So they put her on these birth controls. About 7 years in, she starts developing TMJ problems. Her vertebrae are all messed up. Her spine isn't right. She's having major back problems, major nerve problems in her back, all this stuff. They tried 2 rounds of antibiotics, Obviously, that just made it worse because antibiotics don't just kill the bad guys, they kill the good guys too. And her system's already bogged down with toxins, so there's that. Those didn't work, and they started doing, like, you know, chiropractic, all the other therapies, blah, 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 blah. Now they're testing her for endometriosis, which at this point she may have because it's been so long. So there's that. But all of these things, all of these autoimmunes, no matter what they're caused from, whether it's a buildup of medications, a buildup of hormones, things like that, like, they can all be healed. Now, an autoimmune is not cured. That's not how that works. Cancer is not cured. It's healed. Very, very, very big difference. You have to support your body to take care of it and heal it yourself and make the medication work. There is a reason that you'll be on MS meds or autoimmune meds and they're not working, or you have to continually up the dose. It's because your system isn't processing. It's not handling anything. So nothing is working because it's so bogged down. So doing a detox, and a lymphatic drainage detox, is not avoiding food, is not eating only certain foods, is not any of that. It's literally manually pumping your lymph system through gentle, super, super light massage to get your lymph nodes and your lymph vessels to dilate, to detox all of that. Now, in the case of hormones specifically, hormones are chemical messengers. They are sent into your body, they are sent into your tissues, and that's where they send those chemical messages to do things. So, you know, testosterone, estrogen, but there are also other things, like there are thyroid hormones that trigger your thyroid. Melatonin is an example of one of those things that your brain naturally creates to help you sleep better and restore your tissues and restore your cells, blah, 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 blah. So when we're talking about your hormones and your tissues and lymphatic drainage and autoimmune, it's not just the male and female hormones. It's all the hormones in your body, your adrenal glands. It's all the things that control normal function. When you're doing lymphatic drainage, you are sponging all of that tissue, all of those hormones, all of the fluid in your body is being cleansed. So the way that lymph fluid works, you drink water, goes into your digestion, carries throughout your body. It goes into your lymph system. Your lymph system runs the water through the pipes. The pipes go through your tissues, cleanses them all out. That water then goes back through your body into your heart, your liver, your kidneys, where it's filtered out, and that water is excreted through your urine, and it's gone. And all that dirty water is gone, and it's flushed out, and that's it, and it's clean. So when we're talking about lymphatic drainage for autoimmune, we're getting rid of all of that hormonal buildup and all of those other drugs that are in the birth control that are compounding, causing your lymph system to go nuts. There's two parts here. One, it's the toxin buildup. That's a huge thing. Now, I had autoimmune clients who've only been with me for a year, and their symptoms have almost completely gone away after a year because we've cleaned them out. And switching your lifestyle is great. Once you have something like an autoimmune, switching your lifestyle, or even just like a flare-up, or even just like, you know, you have a lot of swelling, your body doesn't feel good, whatever it is. Switching your lifestyle and switching your diet is great, but if you guys don't clean up your body, it's going to take a really long time for your body to naturally clean up 20 years of smoking or 20 years of birth control pills and hormones, synthetics being constantly dosed into your system, or, you know, 10 years of antibiotics that you've constantly been on because you're constantly getting sinus infections. Like, whatever it is, you got to clean up your body. Just by changing your diet and your lifestyle, that's great. You're stopping the problem. But if you're not cleaning it out, you're not going to get anywhere. Now, on top of that, the swelling, the darkness under the eyes, the pale skin, or the unhealthy skin in the case of like eczema or psoriasis, which is also an autoimmune, all that thing, the acne. Acne is literally your toxins trying to break through your skin. Your lymph fluid runs a hair deep right beneath your skin. That's what carries the debris back into your body so it can be flushed out. If your lymph system is not functioning properly, it's going to stop and stagnate under the skin, and then it's going to build and build and build pressure until it breaks out. That's a breakout. Where are the most common ways to know that you're having a breakout? Because your lymph system is not functioning because of, you know, hormones or whatever. Well, the major lymph pathways across the chest, down the sides, across the bra line in the back, across the lower back, those areas where you get the really big, like, or even little sometimes, but like big pressure cysts almost, like cystic acne, that's swelling. Cystic acne is swelling. Yes, you have toxins in there, but it's a cyst. It's angry, it's red, it's full of fluid. It's full of lymph fluid. We've had wonderful, tremendous success with cystic acne and getting rid of it and healing it. Because again, we're cleaning up the body. Now, in the case of hormones, when you have that going on, it's kind of the same thing. Your hormones are growing haywire, your body is bogged down, and those little chemical messengers are constantly sending out signals, causing your body to swell and inflame more, causing more acne. So that's how that works. But when you're talking about taking birth control and having that like massive bloat or swelling 24/7, or if you've gained 20 pounds, 15 pounds of weight over the course of like 3 to 6 months, that may not be weight. Unless you're like gorging yourself on ice cream and chips and all the bad stuff and soda, that's a little different. But if you're trying to be healthy, if you're moving an hour a day, if you have an active job, if you're running around with the kids and your body just doesn't feel right, or you're exhausted all the time, or your tissues aren't functioning right, or things are off and the doctors can't help you, that's when you guys show up in my office for lymphatic drainage, and that's when we put you on a detox protocol to clean your body out. Because even if you do have endometriosis or something like that, healing that is going to be a million times harder if your body is still dealing with the toxins and the buildup that caused it in the first place. Because now not only does it have to heal, but you're going to constantly be triggered by all that buildup. Same thing with any autoimmune that you have. And it's not just in the face that you have swelling or in the stomach. Just because you only notice it there doesn't mean that it's not everywhere else. And you guys are always super surprised when I tell you, yeah, it's everywhere. It's your arms. It's your joints, where around your joints look super fatty in one place and not the other. Or half of your body is carrying all the weight and the other half isn't. When you gain weight, yes, you get plump. Like your hips will fill out, your stomach will fill out, your butt will fill out. And it's your arms and legs and everywhere. But when it's fluid, it's a lot in one area. And that's usually the area where the trauma is happening. So if it's related to birth control, guys, where are those birth control hormones going in your body? Right here. This is where they're going. They're sitting right here. This is where they need to be. Because that's what they're doing, is putting all the hormones in your body. And then every cycle, they use those hormones or don't use those hormones depending on what the birth control is. Now, again, some people need to be on hormonal birth control, but if you are, it should be working for you. And if it's not working for you, then there's a deeper problem, and it's either that your lymph system isn't working, filtering out and pumping out all that. Think of it as like a sump pump, guys. When it rains and there's like a lot of swelling and there's like a lot of fluid, that sump pump is meant to pump all that water out back up to the surface and get it out of the basement. Right? So that the basement is free and clear and at base level. Well, it's the same thing with your body. When your body is swelling like that, your lymph system is meant to naturally pump that water out so that you pee it out and it goes out away from your body so that you're at base level. So your organs can function, your tissues can function, and everything can happen naturally. Same thing with your hormones. But if it's not at base level and you're not moving, or your body's not functioning properly, or your lymph system is a pressure system, it moves by a pumping motion. If you already have, like if you swole real quick, if you had a heart attack and your legs blew up, your body's not going to be able to pump that off because it's only a hair thick and it moves by a pumping motion. So unless you're actually having a pumping motion, like you're getting up and walking every single day, and that's great, but if you have that much swelling on you, just by walking, you're not going to get it off. Just by exercising, you're not going to get it off. It's going to take a lot longer because you have all this swelling crushing that tiny little pump that's only a hair thick, and it's not going to come off. So what we do is we do 4 days of manual lymphatic drainage in a row, open your valves 100%. They're usually at 10% all day. They open them 100% with this massage technique, and it gets your body to pump out all that massive, heavy, toxic swelling so that they can go back to functioning normally again. But this is why I say if you've been on birth control for all these years and you had hormonal triggers all the time because of this hormonal birth control, and it's just piling and piling and piling and piling and piling on the swelling, you're not going to get that off that easily. And working out 1,000,000 times a day is not going to get that off because it's not fat, it's swelling. If you're working out like a maniac and you can't seem to lose the stomach, everything else seems to be going well, but this area, and you've been on birth control for more than 3 years and you're having all these other signs and symptoms, yeah, that's probably what it is, and we probably need to detox you. Now, that's not saying you have to get off your birth control. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying stop taking it. I'm not saying switch. I'm not saying any of that. I'm saying let's clean out your body so it can work better, because it starts to build up over time, and that's kind of its job, right? I mean, it's meant to store hormones in your body so that you either get your cycle or don't get your cycle, whatever it's meant to do, and to balance you out. Like I said, even if you do have endometriosis and you have to be on it, and somehow it's not working, or even an autoimmune drug, and somehow the autoimmune drug is really like not working as well as it should, it's the same thing. It's because your body's so built up, it's not as sensitive to that drug anymore. It's not responding. So once we clean out your body, everything works a lot better and a lot faster. So in the case with you girls, ladies, women who keep coming in about, you know, the endometriosis, the PCOS, the fibromyalgia, the fibroids, all of these things, take a look at your birth control. Like, see how that's going. And if you're on either Yaz or Minestrone, low estrogen, FE24, whatever that generic and that one is, really, really consider and take a look at that. If you've been having all of these issues and now you've got an autoimmune and all of this other stuff, anything that doesn't seem right, or you've gained like a massive amount of weight and you can't seem to get it off no matter how healthy you eat or how much you run, really take a look at those birth controls. And guys, if you're not sure, come in to see me. This is what I do. I wouldn't be talking about this if we haven't had success with it and if I haven't figured this out. This isn't something some doctor told me. This isn't something I Googled on the interwebs. I Googled it on the interwebs because I made the connection from seeing everybody and seeing this happen over and over and over and over again to all these women that are on this birth control, or these birth controls, several of them. Now, that's not saying that the birth control may not be right for you or may not work for you. It may be. It may be the one you need to be on, and it may be the right one for you. It just may be that you've been on it for so long, your body is just full of all of these hormones and all of these chemicals that it's kind of throwing everything out of whack and signaling all these like weird things to start happening. So these are things that we can talk about when we have a consult. If you are not in New Jersey and you cannot come see me, and this is still something that you want to do and talk about and figure out and get suggestions on, you can always schedule a virtual consult with me and we can still go over all of this, because like I said, I've seen this too many times. Same thing with my regular autoimmune guys. They're on these meds and they're not working. They switch their meds, they're not working. They up their meds, they're not working, and it seems like a dead end. And you're eating healthy and you've completely gone vegan and you're working out as much as you can and you're going to physical therapy and you're doing all the treatments, and somehow it still keeps getting worse. Well, that's because we're just piling more stuff on top of the problem. We never really cleaned out your system to function optimally. It's kind of like when you have too many apps open on your phone. It starts to slow down, things start to glitch, apps start to not work, connections start to falter. It's the same thing. So autoimmunes and these birth controls, especially in women, and all of these problems and all of the swelling and the burning and the pelvic pain and the TMJ and all of these things are linked. They are something I see commonly. Again, I'm not a doctor. That is my professional opinion as a detox specialist, as an autoimmune specialist, as a plastic surgery recovery specialist, as a manual lymphatic drainage specialist. That is just my little tidbit on it. If you guys have any questions on the autoimmunes, again, you can schedule a virtual with me or come into my office and I will gladly help you guys. This is something I love to do because you guys have no help. The doctors can't help you. The physical therapists can't help you. They try, and then you go to the interwebs, and you go to the YouTubes, and you go to the Instagrams, and you find all this information about drink nothing but celery seed juice, and cayenne pepper and lemon, and take all these strange herbs, and you're all lost because nobody is looking at where it starts, which is in your body, and cleaning you up, and actually checking your toxin levels and seeing where you're at. That's something we got to do when we're trying to get to the bottom of this. We have to go to the bottom. We got to go back to the beginning. So again, guys, I really, really love talking about this with you. I really hope to get more of you guys, autoimmunes, detox, cancer recovery, because it really makes a huge difference. It really, really does. So thank you so much for watching. I will talk to you all very soon. This will go up on my IGTV right now. And I will talk to you next week. Bye, guys.